From the 915 to H-Town, from the Panhandle Plains to the Valley, and everywhere in between, this is the 50/50 Podcast, powered by the 50/50 Podcast Network. Join me, Hector Cano, as we cover the Texas high school club and college soccer landscape, along with an inside look at the college soccer recruiting scene. The 50/50 Podcast is a platform about the people and for the people who are dedicated to the beautiful game. Here we go, and we are back with another edition of a special version of the 50/50 Podcast live here at beautiful Moody Gardens in Galveston, Texas for the 2024 Texas High School Soccer, the TASCO, Texas High School Soccer Coaches Convention, and we are joined now by a frequent flyer of the 50/50 Podcast.
In a good way.
Yeah, he's been with us many times. Excited to have him here for another edition. He is Alexi Upton, the head men's soccer coach of Sulphur Springs Wildcats. Coach, how are you?
I'm very good. Very good. Very glad to be here.
Excited to have you here again. Always brings the energy, always gives us great content, great info. So there's a reason why he's one of the regulars. Coach, how are things?
It's cool, man. It's just cool to be here. It's cool to be a part of a culture of people that care about the game of Texas soccer. They're here to get better. They're here to get snippets,
right.
And learn. And it's just TASCO does a fantastic job. There's new people here every year. There's more vendors here every year. It just seems like it grows and grows and grows. So yeah. Really excited for that.
Yeah. Obviously, we're only a couple of hours into the convention. Initial thoughts so far between what you've seen, what you've heard, talking with other coaches, how many coaches you've seen here, all that good stuff. Initial thoughts?
Man, I probably ran into 100 people already, so just chatting, saying hi. That's what's great about this time of year is that everybody feels the buzz.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, man, we're ready to go. I'm so excited.
Right.
So people start talking about their teams and stuff. And there's just such a great energy here of people that want to just go get after it. Like they're like, man, I'm just itching. I'm so ready to go play a game.
Yeah.
And everybody there's such a friendly environment. Everybody's ready to talk. Everybody's ready to reconnect and stuff. So it's really special.
Yeah. So we have you here, obviously. So you're actually you're our fourth guest of the afternoon. Mm-hmm. You're our first actual current Texas high school soccer coach. Okay. So tell us in terms of thoughts, obviously our season this year is going to be historic. It's going to look very different, right? For a number of reasons. One, the obvious split of the Division I, Division II, mm-hmm. and then of course the recent one that made headlines was the introduction of the mercy rule. So we'll tackle both of those. First, your thoughts on the Division I, Division II split.
The Division I, II split is going to really change the game. I think it's going to change the game in 6A, 5A, 4A because it really. Typically the 6As, the 5As, the 4As, the better school is a large. It's a D1. Mm-hmm. Whether it's 6A, 5A, 4A, you can go look statistically, who wins games, things like that. It's a larger school. And so that split is really going to free up on the small end, is going to free up some guys that are little to go make a run that they typically didn't make.
Yeah.
Which I think is really special for some programs, especially at the 5A, 4A level. It's, hey, we don't have to play Goliath anymore. We're going to have a chance to go make a run and go make a statement, mm-hmm. which I think that's awesome for 5A, 4A schools. On the flip side, being the sixth largest 4A school in the state of Texas.
Are you really?
Yes. It's going to be.
I did not know that. Yeah.
It's going to be a complete dogfight when you get out into playoffs.
Yeah.
Because you're going to play elite every week.
Yeah.
Because let's take our East Texas Dynamic and Dallas Fort Worth 4A. You're going to play Kilgore, Pine Tree, Salina, whoever, Lindale, us, you're going to play these schools with 1,200 plus kids and everybody's really good. Everybody's kind of on the same wavelength. And it's just there's no free first round game anymore.
Right. It's all the more reason why your tournament, right? Your 4A tournament will really prep you, right? Mm-hmm. Like probably like no season before, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's true. Now, how do you think, speaking beyond just Division I, but even Division II, how do you feel when we look at it from the 4A perspective? Mm-hmm. Do you think it has a different or a more significant impact on 4A versus 5A or 6A?
100%. I think that gap is a lot larger. I think, obviously when you talk about a 6A setup, mm-hmm. There's not much of a difference between an Allen and a McKinney North. and they may have 1,000 kids difference or whatever. I don't know the numbers, but
Well, I don't,
there's
Ellen's probably a horrible example.
exactly, yeah.
But yeah,
but
yeah.
obviously Allen's
Yeah.
probably got 4,000 more kids than everybody else.
Right, I know.
But that 1,000 kid gap is not really a big deal at the 6A level because the talent's all here.
Mm-hmm.
At the 4A level, that school that has 1,100, 1,200 kids is significantly typically more talented than the people that have 400, 500, 600 kids.
Yeah.
And so those.
Well, not to mention you have 3As playing in the 4A division.
Yeah. And so those guys are, like I said, in the 4A world, in the D2 world, those guys are really going to have an opportunity to finally, go make a run for themselves, because they've eliminated the, Salinas, the Sulphur Springs, all those guys. And now they have a chance to go get after it. And really in every region too, Lumbertons, Hidalgos, those guys are going to be up here and they're going to have opportunities to shine. So.
Yeah. Now, so the other side of that, right? The recent news of UIL announcing making it effective immediately this season, the 2024-2025 season, the mercy rule.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on this? And for those of you that aren't aware or just listening, hearing of this for the first time, essentially UIL is enacting a new policy, a new rule that will be a first, where if a winning team is up by a goal differential of 8 or more goals with 20 minutes or less remaining in the second half, the game will be called at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be regardless of if it's a non-district game, district game, or postseason state playoffs. Thoughts on that?
I think it was a long time coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that was something that obviously UIL and TASCO have discussed for forever. And then, with TASCO, with the referees associations, they've discussed that. And it's just finally came. You know what I mean? And I was a part of the meeting with THSCA in the summer where they were trying to introduce that. And they were like, what does everybody think about it? And it was unanimous. I mean, in that meeting, it was like 95%. And I mean, I know it was something.
Now, was there reasons specifically? Was there maybe 2 or 3 consensus reasons why?
Why 4?
Yeah.
Why 4? I mean, I don't think any of us are in the business of running up a score line and taking away from the game, killing kids' passion and joy for the game or anything like that. And I think what that does is kind of just, hey, you're the better team, respects, let's move on and walk our other ways, you know. And especially like in the 4A setup, that it happens very frequently. I mean, that mercy rule is going to get used a ton in 4A.
Yeah, no, and many people were making that argument that this was for many reasons, it was largely being implemented because of 4A, because you have 3As and 2As that are trying to establish programs, and they have to try to find a way to make it and punch way above their weight. So rightfully so.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a bunch of 5As with 10-0s, 12-0s, 15-0s, and stuff like that too. But it's definitely in the 4A setting, and I think it just sets that precedent of, hey, you guys are better. We're still trying to grow or whatever, and it just kind of everybody's on the same kind of playing field. We're not here to embarrass anybody. We're just here to play the game of soccer, and I really hope it just promotes just more, the Texas way. You had Mackie in here and talking about that. I really just hope it promotes more, equality. Everybody loves everybody kind of mentality. Hey, respect. I appreciate you guys trying to grow the game of soccer in your community. Yeah. I'm not here to kill you and win by 15. I'm just here to play the game. Let's move on. So I like it. I think it was a long time coming. Like I said, I was in that THSC meeting in the summer, and I was like, what are we having a discussion here for? Like,
are you coming across any opposition at all?
No, I didn't. No, I don't think there was any opposition. I think the vote was like 85%.
Yeah. No, not the vote itself, but I mean, when you talk amongst other coaches, maybe beyond just your district, within your region, maybe.
No, I don't think so. I think the littler guys are appreciative of it. I mean, none of those guys want to go lose 15-0 and 12-0 and 16-0, and then I think the higher guys are like, okay, it is what it is. I mean, you can either play the longevity of the game and keep it at 5 or 6 and play it out and, kind of move kids around and experiment, or, you can take your 8-0 and move on. Hey, thank you, and move on. So
right.
I think either way is good, for the game. And, I'd really like to see that. I really like, they're trying to push the Texas way so much and do all that kind of stuff. I'm really glad they took that step as well. So
good. Now tell us, so you're here, obviously you're not only attending as a member, but you're also actually here to present, right? So tell us a little bit about what you're doing this weekend.
I'm speaking twice. I'm speaking one at 9 a.m. for just our culture and our program and kind of, some program tidbits. And it's all really just a concrete examples-based performance kind of thing. It's a PowerPoint just on hey, these are some examples of some things that you can take out of our program and implement to your program. You know, it's not, you know, there's no Ted Lasso quotes or anything in there in the PowerPoint. It's really just straight facts, you know, what works, what doesn't work. And really, that's just what I want to present.
So that's more, a little bit, probably more targeted for the first year coach, maybe, or
first year
head
coach, assistants, things like that, ideas and
Okay.
concepts that you can bring into your group. And then at 4, I'm speaking with Coach's Insider about an activity, a transition activity that we really love. I already made the PowerPoint, the video, and the what is it? SSP, Sports Session Planner, for it too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's a really cool game. It's a game that we really love to play all the time. It's a 4-team game where it's just flying in, flying out. It's super.
That's at what time is that at?
That's at 4.
4 tomorrow. Okay.
Coach's Insider.
So 9 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Yes, and so that's a really fun game, and all our kids love it. And like, we play transition, like we love this game, you know. And so that when they came to me and said, hey, you know, you're speaking at TASCO, is there anything that you really do often that you really love to do? And I was like, yes, this. And so that'll be cool to speak on that too, because we got the VO out and filmed it all, and the kids were like, yeah, we get to film, you know, like so.
So you're going to speak to the uploaded film?
Yeah.
Already?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's awesome.
So cool too. Really opportunities to just kind of, you know, put your name out there. You know, I really like to do this, to put my name out there. You know, I'm obviously a guy that wants to grow and wants to get better and better. So
right.
I love the opportunities. So.
Yeah. So now you're also here for another reason. Tell us a little bit about that, what you got going on, you personally.
Man, I'm trying to win a board position, man. I'm just, you know, I
so
think
this is what is that region
2 assistant.
Region 2. Yeah. Okay.
Trying to get in as a region 2 assistant
for the TASCO board. Okay. Cool.
And I really just, you know, I want to be a part of a next generation of Texas soccer coach. You know, I think we're at that kind of juncture in TASCO. And, you know, that's no disrespect to the incredible staff of people that we have that work TASCO, but there's got to be that next generation of younger people that come in and have nice ideas and new ideas and present different things. And I would love to be someone that's a part of that, someone that's helping growing the game of Texas soccer. You know, I was a part of the panel of people in the summer that was kind of trying to start the 3A movement. Me and a couple other 3A people were trying to start that movement. And, you know, I just want to grow the game in Texas. I just want more kids and more communities playing soccer. You know, I mean, you look at the 3A and 2A setup, those guys have baseball, those guys have football, those guys have everything. And there's no soccer for those kids. You know, there's no opportunity to do that for those kids. And if we really want to grow our game on a global level, on a Texas level, it's got to be through inclusion. It's got to be through we're creating opportunities for kids to play the game. And so, I mean, those are some things that I'm very adamant about. You know, I want to support the big school and the small school, and I really just want that opportunity to further the game and help it grow. So,
well, you know, you've done great things there at Sulphur Springs, and 2 years ago, and then last year you were kind of in a little bit of a kind of a reload, not quite a rebuild, but so tell us thoughts on what has you excited? What are you looking forward to the most with your squad this year?
2 years ago, when we won our first district title over Paris, we had 6 freshmen playing, along with a lot of juniors and seniors. And then last year, that 6 turned into about 8 to 10 as sophomores, with a couple of juniors and seniors. And we went back-to-back district titles. This year, all those guys are juniors. We got 12 juniors on our roster. So really another 2 years of fun, you know what I mean? Like a really strong class of the now juniors and with a couple of sprinkles of seniors, but a really strong class of juniors that gets to maybe go get a 3-peat and a 4-peat and get to go compete with the best of the best, the Kilgores, the Palestines, the Salinas, the Panther Creeks.
So calling your shot, Sulphur Springs will win. You're guaranteeing the district title?
I mean, you know, everybody's got a chance. Everybody always has a chance. We're never going to sit here and say, you know, it's in the bag or anything like that. You got to go play the games, 100%. But, you know, like where you're at, when you're a 2-time district champion and you know what you're seeing on the other side of the ball, you feel really confident about what you can do. And you know what you have in your group compared to other people. You feel really good about yourself. So I think it's an incredible group of kids that we have. I mean, people in our area and in our, you know, region talk about, hey, you got a really special group of kids. We did some fall ball stuff with some people, and they were like, hey, y'all look incredible, you know. And so, you know, we're trying to, you know, keep everything here and just go one game at a time and do what we can do. So
now, in a perfect world, as coaches, we would love to highlight every one of our players, right? But obviously, since we're pressed for time, tell us maybe 1 or 2 of your guys that maybe to look out for this year, or that just the Texas high school soccer scene should know more about.
What a cool answer. I don't think you really ever do that. That's neat. I got 2. I got one. His name is Eric Rodriguez. He's a center back. He's also our kicker for the football team. They're in a playoff game tomorrow night. But he's nice. Yeah, but he's he's a fantastic guy. He's
Yeah.
really matured and grown into a really special player and a really special person. And he's kind of taking that responsibility of like, hey, go be an important factor in our team. Go not quite, maybe not a leader, but just like hey, go be a guy that does everything right every day and show people that. And he's doing a fantastic job of that. And then we got a sophomore. His name's Gael Garcia, and I mean he's an incredible caliber dude. Like he can go some places and do some special things. He's crazy fast, crazy athletic, great finisher, power shot,
Nice.
all the whole 9 yards. We're kind of figuring out where we want him to be, because when you got a really good group of kids and, you got 4 or 5 pieces, it's like, do I put you here? Do you go out wide? Do you go up top? Like, where's your best fit?
It's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have, and so those two I'd probably highlight along with our, incredible group of kids. We got so many good kids.
Absolutely.
And being in a community like that, you just get kids that are just so awesome, and it's part of being the small town charm. So it's really cool.
And one more thing, got one more question for you, or kind of a prompt, I guess. Where tell us last thing I mentioned it briefly. I'd be remiss not to ask you about it. Tell us about that great 4A tournament you got going on in January.
Best tournament in the state of Texas, 4A. I'll die on that hill. It's just cool, man. I mean, I work really hard on trying to get people from all over the state. We have Progresso there. We have Huffman there. We have Lumberton there.
Yeah.
I mean, people that are taking,
what is it? What are you up to? How many teams?
16.
16.
Yeah. Perryton out in the Panhandle. We got people that commute from everywhere.
Yeah. Full-fledged, still remaining full-fledged tournament, not showcase format, nothing.
Straight up tournament. You get out of your group, you go play another game, you play all the way through to the final. Salina's a back-to-back champion of it. It's nice. They call it East Sulphur. I mean East Salina.
Nice.
They're like, man, we love East Salina. This place is awesome.
I know Cody will love that. Cody will appreciate that.
Cody will love that. Yeah. His kids love being there. But they're in a dog group this year with them, Progresso and Palestine. So I mean, it's just a really good tournament with a lot of really strong 4A teams, and people love coming to it. We actually added China Springs under a new coach, and he was like, hey man, like, I really wanted to come to your tournament, man. I've heard a lot of things about it. Yeah. And I was like, man, that's cool, man. Like, that's what I'm about.
What is it, third year, right? Third year?
Third year. And so that's what it's about, man. And I would love to, hopefully one day down the road we get another facility or another place to play something, and it goes from 24 or 32. And
you're working on a second indoor facility already?
Something I don't know, man. But it would just be cool, just to have more 4A teams. I think that representation is good, because you go anywhere else in the state of Texas, and those guys are going into 5A 60 tournaments. Like, hey man, let's just see what we can do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Rather than coming somewhere like me where they're like, man, this is cool that we're with a like-minded group of guys, and we can really compare ourselves to the rest of the state.
Yeah.
And so that's why I made it. And I just love it, man. It's a really cool experience and a really awesome tournament. So
awesome. Last thing, stoppage time.
Ooh.
Kind of a free time for you. Anything that's on your mind, any shout outs, anything you want to put out there as it relates to the game this weekend, the convention, anything, the floor is yours. What do you got?
I mean, it's also great, man. Like, I just love being a part of this, man. TASCO's so cool. There's so many good presenters that come in here and speak. Obviously you highlight this, and I love having discussions with you, and I love having discussions with people that love the game. And that's really all it's about, man. I just want people to love the game, grow the game, not put the game down. You know what I mean? We just need people that build stuff up.
I agree.
And I love having you and talking to you. And I love having people here that just love the game of soccer.
Yeah.
And that's what's so cool and so special about this convention is you just go literally from person to person to person. And every communication you have is like, man, I love my kids. Man, I love this program. It's so cool to feel that.
Yeah.
It's so cool to feel that. And I'd say that's probably the thing that, the extra time, the one moment. If you're not here, you need to come here at some point in your life.
Right.
Because you need to come here and just feel the love and the soccer that's around in these walls.
I've often said it's the perfect shot. I mean, strategically, now I understand why it is when it is right before Thanksgiving, and then we come back, boom, we're in full-blown season. It's the perfect shot after we've been at it for several months now, preseason with our teams, and it's the perfect shot in the arm to send you on your way for the season.
Such an adrenaline rush, you know what I mean? People come here and it's just there's a buzz around here, you know.
Absolutely.
And I really love that, and I love having conversations with people about soccer and about kids. That's obviously what we're all here for. And it's just so cool. And that would be my extra time thing. If you're not here, find a way to get here in the future, because I think it is monumental, and You know, I was talking to Andy Holt a minute ago, State, you know, Wakeland,
Mhm.
rah-rah,
Yeah,
greatest
yeah.
of all times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
El
And
Cucuy.
El Cucuy, yeah,
Yeah.
as Rafa says. He said, if you take one thing out of this weekend, you've done successful. You've done this successfully. Like, he's like, you don't need to go get a notepad. You don't need to write a million things. If you want to, great. But if you take one thing out of this weekend, you've done you've done what you needed to do here. And I love that. And it's just about bonding and talking to people. And then if you get one thing, then great. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love it. It's a fantastic place.
Well said. Well said. I'm not going to follow that up with anything. That's perfect. So again, we are talking to Alexi Upton, the head men's soccer coach of the Sulphur Springs Wildcats, presenting tomorrow twice, right? 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. And then both in the classroom, right?
No, one in the classroom and then one in the little Coach's Insider, the booth.
Okay.
Right
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Yeah.
That's the 4 p.m. one, right?
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome. So, Alexi, appreciate you, brother. Thank you
sir.
for everything. Keep doing what you're doing. Wish you and your squad the best of luck this season. And don't go anywhere. We'll be bringing you back much more live action from the 2024 TASCO Texas High School Soccer Coaches Convention here at beautiful Moody Gardens in Galveston, Texas. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you, sir.